Oh, there we go. My bad. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But again, so what we're gonna do is reveal my top 50 players in the NFL, and I had a few guys to help me with this list. I don't know if they want to be revealed. If they want to be revealed, I'll reveal them at the end. I'm gonna check with them and see if they want to be revealed. If not, I won't. But I value their opinion in this football realm, and so if they want to be revealed on the back end, when I get to the last episode, when I get to 8 through 1, I'll tell you who those guys are. If they don't want to be revealed, then I won't. So I'll let it be up to them, and I'll ask them the next time I talk to them. And it's still an ongoing conversation because like the 7 or so players that you're going to see today, this list changed at 3 o'clock. So this is a fluid list, and let's kind of get into it. So what I'll be doing with this list I'll bring you this Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you'll get, today you'll get the next installment of this Thursday, then you'll double back next Tuesday and next Thursday. And that's how I'm going to run that. And so let's kind of dive into it. And what we'll do is, if you agree or disagree with the person that's up here, you can thumbs up it. We can talk about it for a hot second, and we can go on. So you'll get 50 through 44 today. I'll I have some stats from each individual person that'll be on the screen. I also have a signature game from the 2023 season that I'll kind of mention also. So let's kind of dive into it, and without further ado, let's get into my top 50 players from the 2023 NFL season. Keep in mind, not NFLs, not PFFs, not ESPNs, not Shannon Sharps, not Skip Bayless's, not Stephen A. Smith's. Mine with a little help from, my trusted crack staff that I value. So, with some input from those guys. So let's dive into it. And again, we're going to talk about their signature game from 2023. First name on the list, let me switch scenes here. And we're going to start this thing off with a bang. And this is one of the guys that changed at the last minute. Because I think he just had to go up there. C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is coming in for me at number 50. Last year, rookie year, he 354 out of 555 attempts, 64% completion percentage. He threw for 4,557 yards. And if you guys remember, C.J. Stroud went, and correct me in the chat box, I don't remember the exact number, about 7, 8, or 9 weeks without throwing an interception as a rookie before he threw his first interception, which is crazy. He had 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he had a 101.7 passer rating. Finished the season, led the Texans to a playoff berth. They ended up playing the Ravens in the playoffs, and they ended up losing that game. But an amazing rookie campaign for C.J. Stroud, and his signature game to me was Week 9 in a 39-37 win versus Tampa Bay. These are his stats in that win. He was 30 for 42, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 147.8 passer rate. CJ finished the year. He was the offensive rookie of the year, and he finished the year as a Pro Bowler also. So coming into CJ's second year, they got a young team. They gave him some more receivers. He got Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell will be back because Tank Dell got hurt halfway through the season. Nico Collins showed up for him. Dr. Schultz showed up for him. The sky, the limit for the young Houston Texans, especially with CJ Stroud. And again, he's on year 2 of a rookie deal, so they can just throw pieces at him and he can get better until it's time to pay him. And when it's time to get paid, that kid may be looking at $65-70 million a year, because they're probably going to have to pay a quarterback 50 something. Probably 2 are probably going to get 50 something. And by the time it's time to pay CJ, he's probably going to be looking at $60-70 million a year, which will be a crazy, crazy number. All right, let's go to number 49 on this list, on my list. Number 49, Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, the young defensive end from the Detroit Lions. His stats for this year, he had 30 tackles, had 101 pressures. Now, let me explain pressures on here. So when you see pressures entails hurries, QB hits, and sacks. So when you see 101 pressures, that's added hurries together, that's QB hits together, and that's sacks. So for Aiden Hutchinson, he had 67 hurries, 23 QB hits, and 11 sacks. His signature game for this year, unfortunately, came in a loss. It was week 17 versus the Dallas Cowboys. He had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 forced fumble. Aiden Hutchinson also made the Pro Bowl. Now, what I will tell you about Aiden Hutchinson that I do like, coming from Michigan, hometown kid playing for the home state team, he is relentless. He's one of those high motor guys. And a lot of times you get a high motor guys that aren't very skilled. He's the combination of skill and high motor. And that's what I like about Aiden Hutchinson. And if he ever gets a guy that's a consistent guy on the other side of him, like Ojabu was when they were at Michigan, you're going to see him take off and be super duper elite. I already think he's ascending to be elite. But if they get a guy over there where they can't double this kid, he's going to be super duper elite when he get like consistent one-on-one matchups. All right, let's go to number 48 on the list. All right, we have Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is the right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it won't be a lot of stats you can throw around for offensive tackles because, like, nobody that I know of really keeps the stat that I love for offensive linemen. That's pancakes. But we're going to go with PFF grades because that's the most that we can find for offensive tackles. And it's kind of, it's on point because they grade each offensive lineman the same way. So we're going to kind of use that to kind of quantify offensive line play. But for Lane Johnson, he had an 80.1 PFF grade, like overall. So when you break it down in his run block grade, he had a 75.8. And then his pass block grade, he had an 80 pass block grade. So he only gave up 35 pressures. And we just explained to you what pressures was when we talked about Aiden Hutchinson. He gave up 35 total in 1,038 snaps. So that means out of all those snaps, the pressures he gave up, that was 3.3%, which is an amazing number. So he gave up a pressure, whether it be a sack, a hurry, or a QB hit on 3.3% of his snaps in 2023, which is amazing. Now, I don't have a signature game for any of the offensive linemen in here because that was kind of hard to do unless I went and found tape on it. But for Lane Johnson, I do have that he was a second team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler this year. That'll be the only caveat for the offensive lineman. I won't be able to just throw you a signature game out there because I can go say whoever the running back was had 200 yards that game, but he may not have ran off Lane Johnson's side. So that's going to be the only caveat when it comes to offensive linemen. I won't have a signature game for them. What up, Daniel Berry and Pretty Girl TLB and Jared and Antonio and Malik and Big Reg? Appreciate y'all for joining me. Let's move on to player number 47. Player number 47. Now, who says people don't get better with age? This cat has been around for a long time. And in NFL years, he would be considered a dinosaur. If we want to talk about NFL years, DeMario will be considered a dinosaur. He's a Mike linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, and he was a Jet for a while. He was good with the Jets. He went to the Saints, and he technically got some Creole seasoning and got better with age down there. Let's talk about DeMario. He's number 47 on the list. He has 75 solo tackles, 36 assists. You add those together for his total tackles. He only missed 9% of his tackles. Only missed 9% of his tackles, had 7 sacks, and he had a 90 PFF grade. His signature game for 2023. Week 14 win versus the Carolina Panthers, which is a division foe for them. He had 1.5 sacks, he had 9 tackles, and 1 TFL. Now keep in mind, this dude in his mid-30s. I think DeMario may be like 34, 35. And again, in NFL terms, that's a dinosaur. And keep in mind, he's a Mike linebacker. So he's thumping something every play. Every play. So salute to you, DeMario, for still playing at a high level. And the swag is impeccable. Look at the arm sleeve and the Jordan 1s for the cleats. Shout out to the old dudes out there. Shout out to the old dudes. And he was second team All-Pro at this age. And a Pro Bowler. And a Pro Bowler. Keep grinding, my dog. Keep grinding. All right, let's go to number 46 on the list. This dude right here. Khalil Mack. I thought Khalil Mack was going to fall off the proverbial cliff. He proved me wrong completely. Completely. What up, Antonio? Completely. Khalil Mack this year, excuse me, had a straight, and I don't know if he was in the running for a comeback player of the year. I don't know if he was or not. Help me out, chat box. He might have been. But Khalil Mack this year had 41 solo tackles, 14 assists, 88 total pressures, 59 hurries, 11 QB hits, and 18 sacks, which puts him in the running for leading the league in sacks. Now let's talk about Khalil's signature game. Just listen here for a second, his signature game. I don't know how I missed this year. I don't know how I missed this game this year. Let me get to Khalil. Here it is. Khalil Mack in a week 4 win versus the Raiders. Versus the Raiders. He had 10 tackles. Keep in mind, this is an edge guy. This ain't no linebacker or you know, a safety or something running the alley. He had 10 tackles from the edge. 6 sacks. 6 sacks. 5 TFLs. And a pass defended. How did I miss Khalil Mack having 6 sacks in one game? 6. That is unheard of. What's the record? And I don't know. What's the record for sacks in the game? I'll probably look it up when it's over with if y'all don't tell me before we get out of here. But what's the record for sacks in the game? This man had 6 sacks in the game. Now I know he was like 9th in the defensive player of the year voting. I think it was 9th. And he made the Pro Bowl this year. But Khalil Mack had a great year. I thought he was about to fall off the cliff. He didn't. He came back and showed up. Now the other cat on the other side of him, I think, no, he ain't Baby Bosa. He Big Brother Bosa. We don't know what's going on with that dude. But Khalil Mack came back and he was Chicago Bears Khalil Mack. So let's go to player number 45. We got 2 more we're doing for the day. 45 and 44. Breece Hall. The record is 7. Appreciate you, Reg. Appreciate it. He was 1 short. You know, Reg, do you know who got that record? Who got the record of 7? Do you know? Alden Smith had 5, but 6 is crazy. Yeah. Who got the record of 7, if you know? All right. Number 45, Breece Hall. Now, I put Breece Hall up here because you guys know the Jets O-line was straight up trash. I mean, horrible. The Jets O-line, you know, was pretty much like that. Straight tumbleweeds. Their O-line was horrible. And for this dude to get almost 1,000 yards behind that O-line, I think they had like 18 combinations from the O-line last year. He had 222 carries, 993 yards, 4.5 yards per attempt. He also caught 76 catches for almost 600 yards with 7.8 yards per catch. That should be yards per catch, not yards per attempt. Now, this breakaway percentage. This is the amount of yardage he got like for over 15 yards. He had a 40.5 breakaway percentage. He also had 46 missed tackles forced, which is him being able to give you with that You know, we love guys that hit you with that pat and get up out of there. So he had 46 missed tackles forced, and he had 761 yards after contact. So he can make you miss, and he can run through you. Make you miss and run through you. What else you want from a running back? And the two qualities you look for right there. I can make you miss, and I can run through you. His signature game this year, a Week 5 win versus Denver. I think a lot of people on this list signature game might be versus Denver. 31-21 win versus Denver. He had 177 rush yards, 1 TD, 8 yards per catch. I'm sorry, 8 yards per carry. 8 yards per carry. That's his signature win. Let's see. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Tanja, how you doing? How you doing? All right. And then, the last one for today, number 44. This will be the last one we do for today. Davante Adams. One of my favorite players in the league right here. Davante Adams. Struggled because they don't have a top-tier quarterback. They don't. They got the young quarterback that played was at Purdue, Aiden O'Connell, I think that's his name. We know about the other model type guy that tried to be the quarterback, didn't fit, but this dude still produced despite who the quarterback is. Had 103 catches, 1,144 yards, 11.1 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns, 337 yak yardage. He only had 8% of drops, and then he had 171 targets. So we know they throwing to Davante. The defense know they throwing to Davante, but they still could not stop it. Still could not stop it. Because even though they had what's the receiver that he used to play in New England, and they traded him to the Raiders. I can't think of his name, but he's not that big of a factor. But he wasn't enough to take coverage away from Davante. Everybody knew they was throwing to Davante, threw it to him anyway, and he still put up numbers like this. Because Darren Waller was gone too. Josh Jacobs wasn't the same Josh Jacobs from the year before. Everybody knew the ball was going to Davante. He still put up numbers like this. Davante's signature game for 2023 in a Week 3 loss to Pittsburgh. They lost to Pittsburgh 18-23 that week. He had 13 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13.23 yards per catch, and he had 20 targets. 20 targets. And if I remember this game correctly, he got most of these yards in the first half. If I remember this game correctly, he got most of these yards in the first half. And then the second half, they just couldn't give him the ball, which is crazy. Which is straight buck wild to me. So again, if you join me late, let's go through 50 through, and we'll go back the other way since, we already here. So 44 is Davante Adams. 45 is Breece Hall. 46 is Khalil Mack. 47 is Demario Davis. 48, Lane Johnson. 49, Aiden Hutchins. And 50, CJ Stroud. And so I'll say this for the ones that joined us late. We'll get one of these every Tuesday, every Thursday, until I get to number 1. And I did most of this by myself, but I did enlist the help of a few guys. I'm going to ask them if they want to be notified when I get to number 1. If they say yes, I'll let you know who those guys are. If they say no, then you won't know who those guys are. But Tuesday through Thursday, I'll be dropping these top 50 players. And this was a lot harder than I thought because there are a lot of deserving players in the NFL. And this list is fluent. Like I told the people that were here when we first started. This list changed at 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it was some people that some of these graphics got deleted. And I had to make some new ones just in this 6 or 7 people that you saw today. So this thing was hard, but it was fun. It's fun. So I appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Drop a like if you have not liked so far. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. You see, we are 369 away from 10K. So let me go put this up there. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. We ain't far. We ain't far. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come through. And the more Sip2Tally countdown is coming up in about 10 minutes. So if you have not subscribed, go over there and do that. And I think it's team number 24 today, if I'm not mistaken. But meet me over there at 7 o'clock, and I'll see y'all later, man. I appreciate it. Peace and love. Thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What up, Jose?